So my kids are always asking to play Prodigy, and so I chose to learn how to use Prodigy this week. Um, so the URL is www.prodigygame.com, and what you would do, let's say that you're coming into the account without an account or whatever, you're logging on. You can click Get Your Free Account. Now, you have an option of teacher, parent, or student. I actually set up one as a parent a while ago, but this time I did it as a teacher. And then you fill in this information. I've already done this. I'm going to log in under the teacher one. And when you first set it up, it asks you to create your classroom. So I created a class, and it gives you a class code. I'm on step 2. When you're creating your classroom, you can edit it. You can go back, because originally I did 3rd grade, but then I decided to change it to 1st grade so that I could add my son. That way I could show you exactly what would happen. So you set it up, you name it, no big deal. It asks you to show or share your school. I just put that I didn't have a school and that I didn't want to share that information just simply for this this video, but obviously you can see that you can create as many classes as you need. You can archive your classes so that every year you can set up a new one. It gives you a class code to give to the parents to allow them to add it. So once you set this up and create your classroom, it takes you and it tells you that your students all have to start with a placement test. Now this to me is great because you know where your students are. So if you send it to them and you tell them that, send it to the parents and tell them that they have to do it, or you do it in class, you know where your students are at academically. So if your students need extra help, it'll show you that. If they're ahead of schedule, you can edit their profile and allow them to answer harder questions. Is this to add students? Obviously, you can't have an empty classroom. So if they have a Prodigy account, you can add in through that. If they don't, you can either make an account for them or you can have them do it. I'm going to have my son sign in to his account, and it gives instructions so that, either the kids can do it or you can send it home with the parents and have them do it. So let's see, download the PDF, you open it, and this is what it shows you with the PDF file. So let's see, gives you the class code, tells them to log in, click update, and enter the class code. You can also, as a parent, create a free account to monitor their progress. I set up my son one and my daughter earlier. She's going to 1st grade. My son's going to 2nd. So I set it up earlier so that I could monitor what they do and where they're at. So that works out for not only the teachers but also the parents, so they can watch it as well. And then let's see, if you want to set it up for them, let's see, you can create a thing for your student. So let's say we're going to have John Smith, and then you create his account. Again, it gives you the setup instructions. This is pretty cool because it gives you the link. They can click on the link. They can enter your class code. You have access to their username and password, which is really good as a teacher because then you can monitor that as well. And I don't believe they can change it after you set it up. And let's see, we're finished with that. and then your students play. Now, once your students start playing, it will send you reports that you can look at. It'll show you their progress, their comprehension, their usage, their weekly activities. So like if one of your homework assignments each week is to get on there and play a certain amount of time, then you can go on there and you can see, which student is actually doing it, which student's not. The placement test, again, like I said, it's wonderful because it'll help you realize where they're at and where they're not. Progress, it'll show you, from where they began to where they're at right now and how it's either going up or down. So like you sample report, this is what it'll show you. And so I'm pretty sure that this shows you everyone in your class if you want to see them specifically, or if you don't, you can see it as a group. It also shows you the percentage of students in your class that are at or above grade level, below grade level, or well below grade level. And then obviously it shows you the ones that aren't started as well. Let's see. It shows you student comprehension. You select a student, John Smith. You can select a date range, apply it, and then it'll pull it up. Obviously, I don't have any data right now. Topic coverage. It'll break it down, who's struggling and who's not. So that's awesome to use as a teacher as well. This just looks like a lot of fun for the kids, a fun way for them to learn. The planner, obviously you can assign things to your students, it looks like, so they all need to, like my students would need to take the placement test, and then from there we can assign them different things to help them learn more. Now this is just from the teacher point of view. If you want to do it from a student point of view, let's see. I'm going to pull up my parent account and log in under my son so that we can see what it's like for the actual students as well. Like I said, I have my son and my daughter on here, so let's log in, manage child, to log back out. Okay, so when you're logging in as a student, you would hit play Prodigy, and then you log them in here. They set up their wizard. Obviously, we can do all this later.
Playing from home?
They pick whether they're playing from home or school. But it looks like it's just a fun game for kids to learn more and be able to advance their math skills as well. Most kids these days like this type of game. I think it would be, like really exciting for them to use to play and to learn. And I think that as a teacher, if we can allow them to play things that they like and allow them to use it to learn more, then they will be much more willing to learn and to do things like this, and it'll help them in the long run. And that's the application I chose to speak.